Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of art. It's the Tenant Podcast. I'm Todd Pearson, coming to you from the 40 West Arts District in Lakewood, Colorado. And joining me from his studio in Rapid City, South Dakota, my brother in art, my co-host and friend, Wes Brown.
Oh my God, Todd, it's another week. Wow.
Happy. I'm so happy to see your face, Wes Brown.
I'm just amazed to see yours. I'm just so happy we're able to continue to do this. This has been so much fun. And I'm like a week away from the first weeks-long vacation I've had in probably 5 years. So
I know it's been a while. I am very happy with you because I know you need it.
Yeah, so. I do. Some people at work even say I need it. So, but looking forward to it. Glacier. So if any of our listeners in Glacier, reach out.
So even your coworkers are saying, hey, man, I think you need a vacation.
Need to get out. Get out of here. I've been telling people, but don't tell my wife. Hopefully she won't listen to this. But I said, this is either going to make our relationship better or it's going to end it. A week of just the two of us. No, it'll be
you guys
fantastic.
Deserve it. You need
we
to
do.
go.
And she's a trooper. And for our guest that doesn't know, my dad lives with us. So it's been. Oh. And then prior to that, my mom lived with us. So that was, I mean, it's been a while. So we're overdue. And nice. My niece is going to stay with my dad for a week. So there is a God. So.
And you've been to Glacier before, right?
I have not. So I'm looking for, I know you went with the Boy Scouts like last year. I've
taken 2 trips with a group of scouts up to Montana and experienced Glacier twice. So yeah, it's spectacular. Yeah, you're going to have such a great time.
I am.
It is awesome. It's one of the most majestic places I've ever experienced. And that comes from somebody that grew up in Alaska, right? So yeah, you're going to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I bought bear spray for my wife and I have bear spray from my trips to Jackson. So we're bear sprayed up. So I feel
just
like
remember, don't it's not like deodorant.
No, it's
don't spray it on yourself.
Try. Well, what happens if you're downwind?
And it's not like mosquito spray either. So don't that'll end the trip real quick if you try to, spray down Tonette with bear spray. So yeah,
there we go. And maybe that would be for the bears.
Like,
accidentally spray her, marriage is over. That won't happen. I just worry about, I'm scared to death of grizzly bears. So I'm excited about, they kill you. They can. Not like a polar bear. I mean, polar bears will kill you. Because they're apex predators everywhere.
Have you seen the paw of a grizzly bear? How large it is?
They're huge.
I mean, you have a big melon.
I do.
But a grizzly bear paw is way bigger than your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they realize how, they're badasses. Like, I've seen them fight. Wow. So, anyway.
You don't want to mess with the grizzly.
I have a lot of respect for... I've had my run-ins with black bear. It's another episode, but... quite a few run-ins with black bear, which is interesting when I think about it. Almost as many as cockroaches. So
I don't even know how you pivoted to that. So.
It's another story as well.
Hey, you know what came up on my feed today?
What's that?
Our friend Ed Dwight, the sculptor.
No way.
He gave the commencement speech at Metropolitan State University this weekend. He had a picture of himself and he was talking about how much of an honor that was to give the commencement speech. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I hadn't thought about him in a little while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I talk about him periodically with people that I say, man, if you don't know his story, you need to go read. Amazing story. Yeah. And if you haven't listened to the episode, people, I don't know what the episode number is, but
episode 20.
Episode 20. Yep. The 20th episode. My God, we hit him early. But fantastic story. Great storyteller. Great stories. African-American astronaut candidate from John F. Kennedy picked specifically. Great story. Got to listen. And you won't get this anywhere else. Like, he's been on national television, 7 minutes, 15 minutes. We spent 2.5 hours with him. And then he kicked us out. So,
yep.
Said you guys have to go.
He was having so much fun. He didn't even realize how much time.
He said, I'll give you an hour or 30 minutes or something like that. And then 2.5 hours later,
we're starting to wrap it up. He's like, you guys get the hell out of here.
You got to go.
You got to go.
All right. Should we hit this off?
Yeah. Yeah. We got a guest. It's not just us. We don't want to talking this week.
The podcast. Let's kick it off, buddy.
All right. You are in rare form tonight.
I feel like I've taken a mushroom or something. Which I don't
I kind of feel a little high right now. I think it's infectious, even though we're talking virtually.
Right.
All right, let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
I recently became acquainted with the work of our next guest and caught her show entitled Beauty Out of Mayhem at Bardo Coffee House on South Broadway. You can check out her photography at her website, TaniaKaaz.com, and you can follow her on Instagram at Tania_no-filter. Welcome to the program, Tania.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So not to give a spoiler, but I do have one question.
Sure.
Sulfuric acid, seawater, lemon juice. What the hell are you thinking? And how did you come up with that? That is what we'll be talking about here in a little bit. You don't have to answer that. It's wonderful to see you. How's your day?
It's been good. It's been busy. I was my son's taxi service all weekend. So
beautiful.
A lot of running around.
I'm glad those days are over for me.
Yeah.
Being a taxi. But
now I'll start worrying about him getting in wrecks once he starts driving on his own. I'll have more time, but more worries. So I'm trying to enjoy this time.
There you go.
That's the flip side of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they fly the coop, then you'll wish that you had a full weekend of driving him around and spending time with him all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts.
Right.
He's finishing up his freshman year in high school.
Nice.
So I'm just trying to enjoy my time with him.
Absolutely. That's a good attitude to have. Hey, as we kick this off here, I want you to take a moment and talk about what you do as an artist and photographer. Wes kind of teased it a little bit there, but I want you to kind of explain what you do.
I'm a film photographer, and my thing is playing around with different substances, applying them to my film to get surreal and unexpected effects. So like Wes said, I've applied lemon juice, sulfuric acid, tequila, all kinds of different alcohols, hydrogen peroxide. I'll apply it before I develop my film or after, and I just see what happens. I like to play with the film and come up with different film soups and see what it does, what effects I can get.
Yeah, that's a little bit definitely out of my wheelhouse, and I appreciate the experimentation. Before we talk a little bit more about the analog world, when you finish developing or it's sitting in, your film is sitting in these substances, say like tequila, you don't just throw it down the drain. You just take a quick shot? Or?
No, I don't. I throw it down the drain after I'm done.
Okay. All right.
With the film sitting in it, because sometimes the colors kind of leach out.
Oh, yeah. And that wouldn't be good.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah. That might have adverse effects.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're thinking it's lemon juice and it's actually sulfuric acid, kind of ruin your evening.
The sulfuric acid I do after I process the film, but or otherwise it would just eat up the film. That has to be very controlled. And the tequila, I usually heat up the tequila, so I think hot tequila would be disgusting. It smells awful. It stinks up the whole apartment when I'm doing that process. So
your neighbors love it too.
I don't think they can smell it. Hopefully they can.
Oh, yeah. The first question is like, how did you come up with this? I mean, was there inspiration from somebody else doing it, or is this something that just like popped in your head?
There is a small community of people. It's called a film soup. So there is a small community of people that soup their film all around the world. So I found some recipes through that community, but I also, the way I started was I was doing black and white film photography, and I was, just posting things on Instagram, and somebody started following me, and they claimed that they were getting wine tones on their film from soaking it in wine. I think it was a scam, though, just to get people to follow them. But I thought, I want to try that. So I taught myself how to develop color film first, because you have to develop the film on your own usually if you want to do film soups, because commercial labs won't take it because they don't want to contaminate their equipment with whatever you put it in. So I taught myself how to develop color film, and then I started experimenting with different substances.
Right on.
So my follow-up question, I'm a black and white shooter. I've since I was 14, like I've been shooting black and whites, and I've developed black and white. I've never done, now Todd has done it all. So, but from somebody that just does black and white, what was the transition of developing color from developing black and white? What's the little bit of a difference for our listeners?
You have to heat up the chemicals to a certain temperature. So I just, mix my chemicals and then I'll put them in a water bath to get them to temperature. And then there's some different steps, but it's similar, I think. Don't you think, Todd? It's pretty similar.
Yeah, for sure. It's so interesting. Like I said in the intro, I got to experience your work firsthand, and I was blown away. And I love the experimental side of what you're doing. That it's, like I said before, it's so completely out of my wheelhouse. When did you develop an interest in photography? Was it a young age that this started to happen?
My junior year of high school. So that was 1992. We had a really nice darkroom in my high school. I went to Rangeview High School in Aurora, and it was just something I was interested in doing. I could take some electives my junior year. I was always interested in art. I've always loved art my whole life. So it's something I just wanted to try out. And we had pinhole cameras as our first thing that we did. We made them out of Quaker oat boxes. So we put the photography paper on the inside. And so I took a picture of the school, and I wasn't doing it right. But I remember when I finally saw the image come up in the developer the first time, like when it appeared, it was just like magic. It's like, I did this magic thing, and I was just hooked after that. So I did photography for 2 years in high school, and then I went on to college to do some more photography classes.
Okay, right on. I love how you explain that, because that's the way I explained, working in the darkroom. It's magic to see that first print come up, and, that excitement to see that you actually got the image. Something that you don't get to experience in the digital realm these days, right?
Yep. Yeah. And even today, when, I'm developing my film and I pull out the film, still today, it's just magic. Because you never know with film. Like, did I mess it up? I work with a lot of expired film, so who knows if I'll get anything on the image. So it's always just a magical experience for me, even after all these years.
Is it getting harder and harder to find film? I mean, is there anybody still making it? Ilford, right? Okay.
Yeah, Kodak still makes it.
Really?
And I get a lot of expired film too.
Okay. Just off the net?
What'll happen?
What?
Yeah.
Off the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
On eBay or Etsy.
Oh, cool. I haven't shot film since probably 2000. I don't know. When was I in Denver? 2005, maybe? Went digital. I mean, I still have all my film cameras, and but just haven't done it. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Todd, have you shot? When was the last time you shot film?
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, having this conversation with Tania today makes me excited to revisit film. I got some expired film in my refrigerator, and
nice.
I still have my RZ system and a couple other cameras. So,
I'm still bummed you got rid of your 4x5. So, and I know you probably are too, after all this, because you got rid of it fairly early going digital.
I did. When digital came into play, I started getting rid of my film cameras, which that was totally stupid because, you didn't get any money for them. So, but it is what it is. And like I said, digital is fun, but it's nothing compared to analog and shooting film. Mm-hmm. So you experienced photography in your youth in high school, and also went on to experiment and take some photography classes in college?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Were you there to study photography, or were you studying something else?
I have my major in business administration and then a minor in fine art.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did all kinds of things in college, sculpture and painting and also photography.
So you love art just in general. It wasn't just photography.
Yeah. I love all of it, but photography is the thing that stuck with me the most. It seems to be the thing that I'm best at. I'm not a very good painter. I'm not very good at, drawing. Not that great at sculpture. I like metal sculpture a lot, but I'm not all that great at some of the other types of sculpture. So it seems to be the thing that I'm best at.
What was it about photography that really just got you jazzed, that just grabbed you?
I think it's, again, like working in the darkroom, seeing like that blank piece of paper and then the image coming up, or, when you develop a roll of film, getting that something from nothing, which I guess you get with painting too. You're going to get that something from nothing, but it's almost like alchemy with photography. It's like, because you're working with chemicals. I always wanted to be a chemist, but I couldn't wrap my head around the math. So with photography, you're still doing chemistry, but I can do it in a playful way.
Yeah. And what you do is a little bit mind-blowing for me because, when I've developed film, it's a very scientific, like you said, and specific process for the film and what you're trying to accomplish with it. And, but you're not only are you doing that part of it, but you're soaking it in all these different substances and getting these crazy, crazy effects.
Yeah.
And digital, I would guess that when you were in college was just starting to come into play. Is that true?
Yeah. I think was my second semester of photography in college was just, I think, when Photoshop came out.
Okay. And no interest in it when it first?
I didn't even have access to Photoshop. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a personal computer. There was one computer on campus that had Photoshop installed. One. And so you'd have to check out time on that computer to like work on your photos. So a lot of students did not have computers in their home. They didn't have the money. So there was this long waiting list to use this one computer with Photoshop. And then there were a few students that had enough money to have a computer and have Photoshop installed on it in their home. So I found that the students that had more money had the better photos because they were able to get these technically perfect photos. And then the rest of us were like struggling to get our photos perfect, in the darkroom, cutting out our little shapes to dodge and burn and, and spending hours and hours in the darkroom, whereas other students could do it very quickly at home with their computers. And that was really frustrating for me. So I just stopped doing photography for like 20 years because I was so frustrated. I just was doing other things. I graduated college and started working and had my son and all of that. So I just still appreciated it. And I still took photos, but not film, because everybody had a digital camera, after a few years. And yeah, I just became very frustrated with how things were going. So I just kind of stopped doing it for a long time.
Yeah. So what brought you back? What brought you back to film? And
once my son started going to school, I had more free time, and I was following this band in Australia called Violent Soho. They're a punk rock band. I saw that the bass player did film photography, so I was asking him if he had access to a dark room, and he said, "No, I use a dark bag," and I'd never heard of a dark bag before. And he said that's how I develop negatives at home without having access to a dark room. And I started asking him questions about it. And I thought, well, I could get a dark bag and start doing it myself. And he's like, yeah, you should. And he really helped me get back into film photography again. So I started shooting black and whites at first because that's all I knew at the time.
I don't even know what a dark bag is. So explain that.
It's a bag and it has two holes with elastic around it. And you put your arms in it, and then you're able to get the film on the reel without exposing it to light.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's like what you would use if you're going to load like 4x5 film on location, right? Because you don't have a completely dark space to load film holders. So yeah, multiple uses. Pretty cool that he turned you on to that, especially because, if you didn't know, if you didn't know, you'd be like, okay, well, I guess I
just can't do it. I don't have a perfectly, dark closet to do it in, and it's a pain when you're, and you don't have access to a dark room. But I didn't know there was this other solution.
Yeah.
So do you still do the same thing? You still using dark bags and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Wow. I don't have access to a dark room at the moment. So,
so
how long still use that?
So how long you been doing the dark bag thing?
Since 2016. So about 9 years now.
Wow. So you've just gotten you're a professional at dark bag.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when I do things like I work with 120 millimeter film and I am soaking it in some substance and then I pull it out and it's like dripping, and I try to get it on the reel wet, because if I get it on when it's dry, it's like warped. So it's really hard to get on the reel. So I have to get it on wet. But 120, it's not in a cartridge, it's just loose. And then a lot of times like the emulsion's peeling off. So it's hard to get on the reel, but I've mastered it.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I bet you're a pro at this point working in a dark bag, because even though it's
hard
for people. Yeah, it is hard for people that don't know, even if you have a large dark bag, because they used to, I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to make them in different sizes. But even if you have a large dark bag, you're kind of fighting with the material a little bit.
You are. I've cut it open. I've cut myself. I've, getting when you have to pop open the cartridge, I've cut myself. There's blood in my dark bag, tequila, whatever I'm soaking in, lemon juice. Yeah, it's a mess.
Well, at least it probably smells pretty good.
Oh, no. No.
I was thinking of lemon juice. I guess maybe not the tequila.
Not the tequila, no.
I was going to say blood and tequila in the dark bag sounds like a movie from Mexico.
It does. Robert Rodriguez movie.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you work with specific film stocks?
I find whatever's on sale, but I do find that certain stocks take different effects, and like certain alcohols or substances affect certain film stocks in different ways. I've found.
Wow.
I feel like Kodak, it almost seems like it has a stickier like emulsion. Maybe like things stick to it more. And then also like Fuji gets really nice rainbow tones with tequila. So I'm finding these things. And then expired film, whatever you're trying to affect, it gets more of an effect with the substance. Like it's like I can try like lemon juice for 2 hours on new Kodak film and nothing happens, but on expired Kodak film, it'll get a really drastic effect.
Interesting. And I'm going to guess because of the deterioration of the emulsion.
I would think so.
Like it's able to get in all the nooks and crannies or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Now that you've been doing this for a while, are you starting to search out certain film stocks depending on what you've shot and what you're going to soak the film in? Is it a pre-visualized thing, or does it happen just on the fly as you're shooting? It happens
on the fly, I think. It's just whatever I have around. Although sometimes I try to match up, like I'll think like I don't want too much grain, so I'll get something newer and then try to match it to whatever substance. Like if I want more rainbow tones, I might go with a certain substance, or if I want more greens, I might go with a different substance.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, thanks.
And that makes sense because I have shot expired film before, and it does tend to go much grainier than what it normally would if it was, not expired or new film.
Right.
Yeah. So you have these different film stocks that you find on eBay or Etsy or what have you, and then you're shooting different formats as well, it sounds like?
Just 35 millimeter and 120 millimeter.
Okay. So 35 and medium format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you have like a whole army of cameras that you work with?
I have 23 film cameras.
Wow.
23. Nice. Wow.
Yeah. I also shoot instant film too. So a few of those are old Polaroids.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's cool too. Yeah.
I love the old Polaroid, like SX70s and stuff.
I have the old land camera with the peel apart film. That one's really fun.
Oh, sweet.
I have 3 packs left of that.
Wow.
Yeah, that stuff is hard to come by these days.
Yeah, I stocked up on it when Fuji stopped making it. So
good for you. That's smart.
Find some projects for that.
So give us a rundown of the different brands you have. You don't have to do all 20, but just
right here. I got a Yashica Flex. I have them kind of displayed right here. I have an old Argus A. I have my Mamiya C3. I have my Pentax K1000. Let's see. I think the coolest camera I got was for my son. My son shoots film too. And he has a Fed from the Soviet Union that was made for the 1980 Olympic Games that was in Moscow. And it's a copy of a Leica. So the guy that started the KGB, his initials are like FED. So that's why they call it a Fed. And he wanted a camera for the people, right? Because he's a communist.
Right.
And he wanted it to be like a Leica because he wanted the people to have this great camera. So they copied the Leica. And it's a great camera. It's a rangefinder, I think.
How close is it to the Leica as far as?
I've never shot on a Leica, but
me neither.
My son has some great images from it.
What is your approach to how you decide what substance is going to go with what film and the subject matter, I guess?
Sometimes I just try to match it up with what I'm shooting. I shot a series at the Botanic Gardens, so I wanted to soak it in something botanical. So I chose lemon juice. When I went to Munich, I picked out some German bitters, like little, shots of this liqueur that had all kinds of herbs from Germany. So I did that. The sulfuric acid, I was trying to show like the degradation of the city during COVID. So that's why I chose that.
So let's talk about that because I found that interesting. Okay. Well, first of all, because it's sulfuric acid, right? It just blew my mind I like the link between the COVID thing. Can you tell me what you were thinking?
Well, the sulfuric acid started another way. My friend Luke, who's the bass player for the band in Australia, he was trying to come up with a way to crack film in a collaboration that we were doing. So he was going to shoot photos of the skulls of endangered animals in Australia. So I think there was this mine going in at the time. So he wanted to show like how this environmental damage was going to hurt these animals. And so he asked me if there was a way to crack film. And I was thinking like, how am I going to crack film? So I was trying to freeze it and do all these different things. And I was thinking, what about acid? So there's a image I have of a skull. I bought like a fake skull. And so I was playing around with that. And I read on how do I use sulfuric acid and how do you neutralize it? So I learned how to do that. And then I decided to do that during COVID. That seemed fitting.
I'm going to pull up an image real quick.
Okay.
From that particular series, because this is one that I really love.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I love how abstract it is. Actually, the whole series that you did is really flipping cool.
That one, I cut each frame on the negative. And then it's been a minute. So I went to my ex-husband's house because I don't have a yard and I need space to do this. And I need like dirt to dump this water that I pour on the negative that has some sulfuric acid in it. I have to wear safety gear. So I'll take the negative and I have a bowl of sulfuric acid. I'll use tweezers and I think for this, I dipped it like the top onto the sulfuric acid and I let it float. And then I took it off, threw baking soda on it to neutralize it, and then dumped distilled water on it to get all that off.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm in an apartment, so I don't have space to have that water running. So that's why I did it in my ex-husband's yard.
So is this a double exposure or is this just the result of stuff?
That's the result of the acid. That's just one image you can see downtown in the background.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's an urban setting and then the image is cracked from the sulfuric acid.
Yeah. And I also used an eyedropper on some of them.
Okay.
Like put the sulfuric acid in an eyedropper and then just dropped it on.
So is the sulfuric acid causing the color as well, the blue and the purples and all that? Is that
it might have gotten a little bit on the underside, on the emulsion side of the negative and not on the base side. So that might have been what's causing that blue.
I love this. This is amazing. I mean, it's really abstract. I mean, obviously you can see the urban setting of it if you're looking at it close enough, but just to see it, it's really abstract and it's cool. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. The colors, it looks like parts of it look like almost like a lightning storm.
Right.
And then, it's very cool what you've done with your process. And it, like Wes says, it's very abstract, which I love. I love that you're pushing the limits with film and creating something that I don't know, you don't ever see. So I appreciate
Thanks.
the methodology, but also like the thought that goes into it after the fact with all these different substances.
Thank you.
I'm going to pull up one more image from this series here. This one's pretty cool. This reminds me of like looking almost into the reflection of a puddle or something and seeing a building. But it's, again, there's a lot going on between the actual photograph that you made, but also the colors. You get some rainbow effects in there. You get some solid, like strong primary colors, but then you have this thing that just looks, a bit surreal. Do you have a particular title for this one?
It's Our Come Round at Last.
Yeah, I love this whole series that you did.
Thank you.
And this is also soaked in sulfuric acid?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is cool.
So during COVID, you got out and wandered around, took advantage of the fact that there weren't a ton of people roaming and kind of had the streets to yourself.
I went downtown and I just started taking pictures, and it was all empty. There was hardly anybody out except for some homeless people at that time.
It was a very weird time.
It was very weird, very eerie. I think I shot that on my Mamiya C3.
Okay. Yeah.
I have the Yashica too, but I think that was my Mamiya.
And just for our listeners, you can go to our website, and if you scroll down to that series, you can find them, both of these images that we talked about.
Sulfuric acid, lemon juice, various alcohols. Any other like odd, weird stuff?
I've always wanted to try blood, but I don't want to try like human blood. So I tried like some lab made blood, but that didn't work very well. Because the thought of doing human blood just like really weirds me out. So
yeah,
on a totally different level.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you if you had thought about blood.
Yeah, other
blood.
people have that practice this sort of technique, but I haven't. So no bodily fluids. Hydrogen peroxide is really fun.
Okay.
Rubbing alcohol is really fun. So
what does hydrogen peroxide do to it?
It does this really cool blue effect with expired film.
Okay.
I've only tried it on expired film.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Now, let me see if I can pull up a photo and show you.
I'm just amazed that like I wouldn't even think of this stuff. So I guess it's when you have this group, this worldwide community that helps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Give each other ideas. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up for you here. Give me one moment. Oh, seawater. I've done that. And water from the hot springs. So sulfur water.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is, if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
That is hydrogen peroxide.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at Fairmont Cemetery.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I haven't thought of that place in a while. That's a great place to go take photographs.
Yeah. And I've tried hot springs water, and it did this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I took it in the mountains close to the hot springs. And let's see, what else have I done? Oh, and seawater. Seawater was really cool. And it makes you wonder what is in the oceans in California that it would do that.
Oh my God, that's really colorful.
You know what?
That
Let me
was
pull
3
one of
days.
those up.
That was 3 days of just letting it sit in salt water. I didn't heat it or anything. I was really shocked.
Was it in salt water prior to exposure or after? After exposure.
After. So
okay.
I shot photos in California, and then I got some water from the beach in California. And I just wanted to see what it would do. I was shocked that it did that much.
So you could
wonder what is in our oceans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially in California.
Yeah.
So you're observing this as would you like go check on it every day and could you see the change? No,
because it's in the cartridge.
Okay. And so what made you
pop it in there and then I develop it?
So what made you pick day 3?
Just to guess,
Really?
when I usually when I heat substances up and it's alcohol, it'll be around 15 to 45 minutes. If it's something like lemon juice, something more like natural, if I add heat to it, it'll be around 6 hours. But if I don't add heat, it's usually around 3 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Heat makes the effect faster and more pronounced.
Interesting. Yeah, wouldn't have thought of that.
Okay, so I have one of these photos pulled up, and it's I love the composition of this particular photo.
It's nice.
Thank you.
These palm trees, and you get this kind of really cool kind of rainbow effect throughout it, which makes it really compelling. And then this was obviously either from the process of soaking for so long or the fact that it was expired film, but you get this really intense grain, which is really cool. Almost like exploded grain. It's so grainy.
Yeah. It could have been the salt, with all the salt in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in California doing this photography, you took your chemistry with you to process on site?
No, I did it back here. I just took bottles to put the seawater in.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So you drove back with seawater?
I flew.
Okay.
So I just put it in little travel size bottles that would go through TSA.
And they let you go?
Yeah, because they were the little travel size.
They were the correct size.
Okay.
Yeah, I take those things with me everywhere I go just in case. You never know what I'll find.
I had a friend who went to Italy, and she bought holy water at the Vatican, and they made her drink it. They made her drink it.
No, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Either throw it away or drink it. So anyway, weird.
Was she able to perform miracles after that?
I think so. I think she healed me, I believe, of my demons. No, I'm just kidding. My demons are way too strong. So Salt Lake City, have you done the Great Salt Lake?
No, I have not.
Oh, you need
that's
to try
a great
that.
idea. Wow.
That is a really fun idea.
I don't know if you've been to Israel. Probably not a good time now.
Yeah.
The Dead Sea would be interesting. That
would be interesting.
Yeah, because I've been there in Salt Lake, and the is it solidity
the
percentage?
Salinity, yeah,
it's
really
just
high.
huge. Yeah, you can just float easily.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it'd be interesting just to compare ocean water with that. So
yeah,
cool.
So based on where you're at and the subject matter, you're thinking about what kind of substance you could incorporate.
Yeah.
Based on that scenario.
And I've also, speaking of the Vatican, I grew up Catholic, so I've done some images of the Virgin Mary statues with Merlot, soaked in Merlot. So those came out interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, I saw, I think, one of those images on your Instagram. You posted one of those recently, yeah? Actually, you pulled one of those up recently. Or on the...
It was
earlier.
in my show.
Okay.
It was the blue one, the blue image.
That's right. Yeah. So for people that have not experienced Tania's photography, you really should, before the end of the month, get down to Bardo Coffee and go check out the wonderful show that she has up there. I was quite impressed.
Thanks.
Especially after I hear the whole process. That's probably something that people don't understand and get. Is that correct?
I think a lot of people think that it's digital, that everything is digital, and everything I've done to it is just playing around on a computer. So when I tell them it's film, then people seem to get interested in it, and then they're more interested in learning how I do it.
Now, did you do a artist talk at all since it's been down there?
No, I don't think it's a really good space for an artist talk.
Okay. I was just curious. I think if people can wrap their head around what you're actually doing, they'll have more of an appreciation for it, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said...
So I try to make images that just stand on their own, but I think once you get more into the process, it makes it that much more interesting.
For sure. So I pulled up one of these images, and this is the one you're talking about that's down at Bardo.
Yeah, and it's not full frame there, so there's more to it. But yeah, that's... I think it's Kodak film soaked in Merlot, and that's new film. And then I did some other religious images with expired film that have a much more pronounced effect.
Well, this is really cool. And I love the composition on this, even though it's the chemical reaction with the Merlot is interesting. Like the round orange that's cut off on the left-hand side. I just love that. It's almost intentionally put there, but this is part of the whole Merlot process, correct?
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. It's
Right.
just a happy accident. And that blue part on the top, it looks like a halo
Right.
if you see the full frame.
Okay. And it's amazing. I love that color blue. That blue is amazing. And then the green, I love the green and yellow kind of mixture. Man, this is a great image.
Isn't it?
Yeah. This looks way too like on purpose instead of accidental, you know, in a sense. So I'm just blown away by it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has this magical effect with all the swirling of the colors and stuff. Yeah. It really works well. And, you know, again, it's, you know, it has this abstract feel to it. So I know people look at these things and these photographs and think that it's digital, but I think if they really heard about the process, which hopefully after this podcast, they can wrap their heads around it a little bit more. Is there anything else that they don't get when they see your photography beyond?
Well, you know, to get this image, I took 10 of the same photo because I know that 9 of them probably won't look all that great. Because not, you know, out of 10, only maybe if I'm lucky, 1 will have a cool effect. So, and as you know, with film, you only get so many chances to get it right. It's, you know, so when you get a good film photo, it's like a unicorn.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that really is the whole film scenario just in general, right? Even if you're doing straight photography, just because you know what you're doing with a camera doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a great photo.
Right.
Even professionals shoot a lot of, and especially back in the day, they would shoot a fair amount of film and then just hope that one of those frames was the frame, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So is 10 like the magic number, or do you just kind of like, is it intuitive?
Just depends how much I want to capture something. And I don't know, this day I just, you know, really wanted to get this image.
And this was shot on?
I think it was Kodak film.
Okay. What
35
cameras?
millimeter.
Oh, 35.
This was on my K1000.
That's a bomber camera, man.
I love it.
When the world ends, there'll be an earth full of Pentax K1000 cameras laying around.
Every high school and college made you buy a K1000. I never owned a K1000.
That's what I learned on.
Yeah. I mean, everybody does. I learned in a Canon 81 because that's what I had. My dad had one, so that's what I shot.
It's so easy with the matchstick. It's just it's simple.
Yeah.
And that's what my son learned on too. He used mine to learn.
My wife learned with a K1000 at Black Hill State, so when she had to take photography. So yeah, it's crazy. Workhorses. I mean, they'll go through anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now, mine has a really bad light leak, though. It's falling apart. So
oh, really?
I need to get it fixed.
Light leaks can be interesting too.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
So you've been getting some cool effects with the light leak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I took it to Munich, and my son ended up using it the whole time, and he took it out in a rainstorm, so that made it even worse. But I think it looks pretty neat.
Cool.
I want to pull up another image, and this is from this is from Tania's website again, in the color category, and this is from the Citrus City series. I spent some time with this earlier today. When I see this, I feel like this is what you're seeing. If you were on the street and somebody shot you, and as you're laying there waiting for the EMTs to come and hoping that you're going to make it, this is what you're seeing right before the lights go out, right? Like you're looking up, you're seeing the bright light starting to come through.
Never thought about it that way.
That's immediately where my brain went, like with the different lens flare and then the way you compose between the buildings and this bright light coming through. It's so darn cool. I can't even begin to tell you.
And that's Kodak film, and I soaked it in hot lemon juice for 7 hours.
Wow. So the acidity of the citrus, the lemon juice, I assume is eating away that emulsion, and that's why you're getting various lines. And it's getting into the different layers of color, because that's what color film has, is these different layers of color, and making these different effects. Yeah,
I was just shot up, like, this building up towards the sun. What's crazy is I took that when I was still married, and my son was with me, and we snuck up to this balcony and we shot up. And then I ended up working in that building at my first job after I got divorced a year later.
That's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is there a particular title for this one?
I haven't titled that one.
No.
Moments Before Death, evidently.
Yeah, that's where my brain is going.
To me, totally it's a very hopeful photo because it was like a preview of this good thing that was going to happen to me, because I ended up getting a job there and I still work for that company, and things really worked out for me. So
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling of comfort from this photo. And even though I'm thinking of death, I'm thinking, well, thank God it's the bright light and it's not something horrible, right?
Right. Yeah. My son says I always shoot towards the sky and I add a lot of light.
Now, you shoot together, and he's really into photography.
Yeah.
How does his approach differ from you as his mom? It sounds like you have your different ways of going about this.
Yeah, he just he doesn't do any of the alternative processing. He likes to do black and white and color, but nothing crazy to his film.
So straight photography for this guy.
Straight photography, yeah. But he likes film too.
Does he hang out with you while you're processing and soaking this film? And,
he sees me do it, but he just likes straight photography at this point.
Okay. And so once you get this film, then what are you doing? Are you scanning it yourself?
Yeah, I have a negative scanner.
Okay. All right. And then any manipulation after the fact, or is it pretty much just the straight negative of what you're getting?
I think at that point I was doing pretty much the straight negative, because I felt like if I did a lot of or some digital manipulation, I was cheating. But my friend who helped me get into photography said that it wasn't cheating because I would be doing things in the darkroom that, to get a similar effect anyways, as far as, getting more contrast or dodging and burning, things like that. So, if I'm doing it digitally, it doesn't mean I'm cheating because I would be doing something similar anyways. So now I feel like it's okay to do some digital manipulation. And I'm even embracing digital manipulation one step further now, just to make things pop a little more, to make things crisper. But I was really opposed to it for a long time.
Well, there's a purist out there, right? And, like I said, like you said, Ansel Adams manipulated his negatives to no end, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he did a lot of manipulation in the camera. He did his magic in the dark room. And so for all the purists that think, oh my God, you can't manipulate, well, then you're a fool, because Ansel Adams would have been all over the digital stuff. He would have been enhancing stuff to no degree.
Yeah.
I have
so
no
I went
doubt
back
about
and
that.
re-edited. I've gone back and re-edited some images, like just made them pop a little more, added more contrast, things like that. I'm like, oh, why did I put that out? The blacks aren't that good. So I just, changed a few things here and there.
And it'll be interesting what we, 10 years from now with the advent of AI now, like what's the attitude 10 years from now when AI is just blown up and we're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So, because we're doing photography, but
it's a weird time.
For sure.
I admire what you're doing because number one, I would have never thought of it. And I wouldn't even understand how to get to that point. And then to have, and I'm sure there's a lot of, we're not seeing the stuff that didn't make the website, but the stuff I'm looking at, these landscape, and I'm a big landscape photographer, right? I love landscapes, and these reds and blues of the rocks and stuff. My God, mind blowing, fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Those are
these
sandwich negatives. Those are the landscapes. Those are black and white images sandwiched with non-exposed, expired, souped pieces of film that I then developed, so that there's a black and white image that exists of those.
Oh, that's cool.
I love them.
And so then I sandwiched them in the negative scanner to get that image.
Man,
all right.
Mind blowing. I'm so glad that we have you on the podcast because I just love your stuff. I'm so excited by it. And, Todd and I, when we first started talking about doing a podcast, Todd was like, if I have to talk to photographers every time for 3 hours, I'm going to poke my eye out with a fork, But then we talked to some really amazing photographers. We sprinkle them in, and you're one of them that we just, Corey, Edward Mapplethorpe, like he's doing amazing things. So when I see this, we get super excited, and I love this stuff. So thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you had to choose right now, we're going to go photograph. What camera are you grabbing?
Great question.
Right now, I'm really into my Mamiya C3. I've done a lot of double exposures lately, and I love the medium format photos that I'm getting with that. It's just something different because I've done film soups for so long.
Yeah.
So there's a couple that I recently put on Instagram that I really like.
Is it easier or more difficult to work with the 120 format?
It's harder to load. It's a really old, clunky camera. Let me grab it. Cat's in the way. It's super old, so it's.
Oh wow, yeah. Twin reflex.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of those in forever.
Yeah, so it's you look down into it.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard to handle because when you look, it's the opposite. So if you're tilting it this way, you're looking the other way. So it's big and it's heavy and it's
a beast.
It's hard. It's a beast. It's hard to load film because everything's not really lubed up inside of it. So you have to crank it but I love it. And it takes really cool images, really sharp. There's no light meter. I just use one on my phone, but a lot of times I just guess. I guess I've been doing it long enough that I can guess fairly well on how I need to expose things.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It becomes somewhat intuitive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then do you bracket a little bit, or is it all just like you just pick the exposure and you roll with it?
I just roll with it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I do double exposures on that. So you're not going to a lot of times get it perfect anyways, since there's a double exposure. So I try to think, what would I expose it as? And then I do one stop down since it'll be a double exposure.
Okay. That makes sense.
I love it.
And when I asked that question about, is it easier to work with the 120 format? I guess I was looking at the backside of things when you're processing. Is it easier to work with the 120 film as opposed to 35 film?
No, 35 is easier to work with. Well, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing film soups, then 35 is much easier to work with because it's in the cartridge. So if I'm soaking it in the cartridge, whereas 120, I have to get it off the reel and it's loose to soak it because it's not in a cartridge. So for the liquid to get in there, I have to I got to just like do it loose in the tank.
Okay.
And then I got to like get the water or the substance out. It's just it's hard to work with.
Sure.
If I'm soaking it in the substance, but if I'm just doing regular developing, it's the same. So
don't they make cartridges for the large format or the medium format?
Well, I mean, it's on one, but if I'm trying to get the substance on it, it's not like wound up where I can drop the whole thing.
Oh, really?
So I have to soak it in, but I have to get it in the tank kind of loose.
Okay. Interesting. I remember I have a Yashica
the paper
mat.
And all that on it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
yeah. And I don't want to get the paper all. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. It could get really messy really quick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want the paper on it. And it's the way that it's wound. I feel like in the cartridge, it's just, whereas when it's kind of loose, I just want the substance to get more even. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
I should make a video of how my process works and then but not in a dark bag so people can see how it's done.
Right.
That would be cool. You should do that because I think people would have a better sense and like appreciation of what's going on when they're looking at these photographs on your Instagram, right?
So I got to ask because, you talk about making a video of your process, right? And we know photographers are notoriously secretive about their process, which is weird because it's been around 100 years or whatever. Your community, your souping community, are they excited to share what they're doing, or are they like,
so.
this is my process, I'm not telling you how to do it?
I've only found a handful of people that don't want to share. Most people are happy to share. I think because nobody's going to get the same result anyways.
Right.
Right.
Every result is going to be unique. So it seems silly to not share your knowledge.
Yeah. And I think that's how you keep something alive too. Like film photography is a dying thing. Although I think Todd and I talked about this when I lived in Denver, like one day alternative process is going to be the thing. And I think we're starting to see that because you're seeing a lot more of that. So,
yeah. And I run an alternative processing magazine, and I get submissions all the time. Right now it's on hiatus because I'm redoing the website, but I always get new submissions for it. So people are really into it.
That's awesome.
So they're happy to talk about their process.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment and talk about that. Like, why did you decide to start your own magazine? What is it called? And what is it all about? What do you feature?
It's called Alter Analog. And it started, I was going to do a little zine with a friend of mine who also does film photography. And I thought, well, why don't we just do a magazine? Let's just have our own magazine. Let's do like a full length thing. And so we just started asking for submissions, and then we created a magazine, and then we kind of had a falling out, but we're still friends now. But when we had the falling out, I took over doing all of it, and I had some other friends helping me, but then they kind of went on to their own projects. So I was just running it, and I still run it by myself. And so that's been going on since 2018. So I feature film photographers from all over the world that practice alternative processing. So everything from cyanotypes to, film soups, to anything with instant film that might have like a twist to it. And I just ask them questions about their work and how long they've been shooting, and then they can send in the series. So it's mostly a digital, like online magazine, but then I've also done some print issues.
Nice.
Okay.
So it was getting expensive to host it on a certain platform. So now I'm trying to get an archived site that I don't have to pay any money for, and then I'll do like a WordPress site that's a little cheaper. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's kind of on hiatus till I work all that out.
Yeah.
So
well,
how expensive? Yeah. How expensive was it getting?
It's like the web hosting was like $25 a month, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but then I have my own website. So it's all adding up. So I'm trying to move over to WordPress, and that's much more cost effective.
Okay.
And you have an Instagram set up for the magazine as well?
Yes.
And what is that?
It's Alter Analog. So it's Alter_analog.
Okay. I'll make sure we have that in the episode notes.
I haven't been on it in a while. Yeah. Let me double check that. Gosh, I haven't been on it for a minute. Yeah. Alter_analog. ALTER_analog.
Very cool. I'm going to pull up another series that I want to talk about. I got to ask you, is there a particular subject matter that you're drawn to? Is it the landscapes? Is it cityscapes? Is there anything that you just, if you have a choice, you definitely are going to go check that out if you're traveling?
Like cityscapes. I really got a lot of energy from urban environments.
Okay. This whole series you did with these waterfalls, I think, is magnificent.
Oh, thank you. That was in North Carolina.
In North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it looks pretty lush, so it wouldn't be here in Colorado. You can tell that there's a little bit more greenery.
Mm-hmm. I was in the Smoky Mountain National Park.
Yeah, these are amazing.
Yeah, that was, what was that? I think that was some expired film. And I think that I shot that, I'm trying to think what camera I shot that on. It might have been on my Pentax.
So here's one thing I find interesting as far as for myself is I remember that in the day that I would, you tried to capture the perfect image, everything sharp, tack sharp, everything, well composed. And I'm starting to really enjoy the happy accidents, the things not really perfect, and maybe some of it's out of focus and scratches on the lens or whatever, doing weird effects. I'm starting to enjoy that kind of stuff now. I'm kind of out of the perfectionist kind of side.
Everything's perfect now.
Yeah.
So it used to be like so hard to get a perfect image. So that was really special. I feel like when I started photography anyways in 92. But now everything is perfect. So it seems very boring to me.
Yeah. I think you're right because, now everything's digital and you can doctor it and, get rid of all the, the blemishes and all that. But I'm really digging like old style lenses and stuff like that. So anyway,
yeah.
Outside of doing the various film soup stuff, are there other alternative processes that you've been experimenting with?
This here is a specialty film. It was called Psychic Blues Film or Psych Blues Film? That's what I tagged it. I like trying different types of film. There's a company called Revelog, and they flash their films to get different effects. So I've used that quite a bit. I also really like to play with instant film. So I like to do emulsion lifts, like where you cut the Polaroid and then you soak it in water, and then you can like use a paintbrush to get the emulsion off, and it's like a jelly kind of substance, and then you catch it with watercolor paper. So that's really fun. Or I'll inject the Polaroid with different things to get it to like crinkle up and look abstract.
I got to ask you about that because I appreciate that process. I haven't done that in forever, but what kind of things are you injecting the emulsion?
Dye or just like household chemicals.
Like what?
Like ammonia or bleach.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Whatever I can find in the kitchen, whatever is in the kitchen sink, I guess.
That's amazing.
Whatever's on hand.
Yeah.
That's a different way of thinking.
I just got some drain cleaner today to take care of a drain, and then I thought, oh, what can I do with that?
Oh, that's funny. You're different.
But that'll do something cool.
You think a little different than most people.
Oh, okay. So
I mean that in a good way. That's
the only way I've ever thought.
That's awesome.
I don't know how other people think.
I don't think that way, and I'm just always blown away by that. That's amazing. Good for you.
Well, sometimes I like to add things to the negative after I develop it, like bleach it, or sometimes I'll bleach the paper. Like I'll get the print made and then dip it in bleach, so that's fun too.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. I think Wes and I need to come take a workshop with you someday.
That would be really fun.
I need to shake up my life that way. Like let's be experimental because I'm not that way. I don't think that way. And it's because, and the more you do it, the more you think that way. It's like creativity, right? If you're not doing anything, you're not being very creative. But once you start being creative, it like all of a sudden those creative juices start flowing, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'll just get bored and I'll get the toilet bowl gel out and just put it on negatives and then see what it does.
Nice.
I love that.
I do too. Cool. I think I make it sound like you're weird, and I don't mean that because.
Oh no, I don't take it that way.
Good.
I like to see what happens.
Right. No, I'm blown away by it. I think it's fantastic. And I love the idea of going and hanging out with you and seeing your process.
Especially as somebody that's, I'm a straight photographer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some experimental stuff, but nothing even close or in the realm of what you're doing. So this is why we wanted to have you on, because I thought it was so interesting when we had, this conversation at Bardo with, looking at the individual pieces. And I was just like, this is really cool where you're taking how far you're pushing it,
I do try to have, like the original image, I do try to use all of my art education with it first. Like, I'm not just trying to do something crazy. I want to have those art principles in there too. Like all the ideas of, composition and technique in the image behind all the craziness.
Well, your composition is phenomenal. I mean, I've looked at your stuff composition wise. I mean, obviously you know what you're doing. So I love a lot of your images just on like, even if they were just plain images, they'd be great.
Oh,
so
thanks.
And then you throw this little spin on there and it's like, wow.
I'm going to pull up another image that as I was scrolling your Instagram, I was like, man, that's really phenomenal. I want you to talk about it. It's a Polaroid image. This one here.
Oh,
I love this image. It's spectacular.
Thank you. I actually did that from my Polaroid lab. So that was originally a medium format image that I took at Elitch's. And then I put that image on my phone, like a JPEG. And then I used my Polaroid lab. So have you heard of a Polaroid lab?
No.
It's a little like machine. So it'll make a Polaroid off of a photo on your phone.
Oh, okay.
So then you put your phone on it and then it'll spit out a Polaroid. I kind of messed with the image on my phone to get like a vintage look. And then that came out of it. And then I drew on it with marker, like little Sharpies.
I love it.
It is cool.
Thank you.
I love it too. Yeah.
So it was originally done on 120.
And then it was a straight photo.
Okay.
Like had blue sky and it was a color photo. And then I put it on my phone and I kind of messed with it with I made it black and white and then messed with it, I think in Lightroom to get like this kind of purpley tone. And then I put it onto the Polaroid lab and then made a Polaroid of it. And then I took marker and then did the color there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I love incorporating all these different things to get this piece of art. And that's what I look at this as, is it's truly art, you know.
Thanks.
You're taking it above and beyond photography with the various techniques and the various tools that you're using. So I love the thought process behind it.
Thank you.
In the post-processing side of things, and you're talking about, you know, you've kind of relaxed your own little parameters and rules that you've set for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of software tools are you using after the fact in your post-processing stuff?
Mostly Lightroom.
Okay. That's your go-to?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you like about Lightroom?
It's just easy to use, just the little sliders.
Okay. I was just curious.
I just use, saturation, vibrance, exposure, blacks, whites, and highlights and shadows. That's mostly what I use. And the cropping tool.
Yeah. So all the basic stuff that you really need to do after the fact to, you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what you told me. Do you do your own printing or you send it out to be printed?
I send it out.
Okay.
You have a lab locally that does it, or do you send it somewhere?
I usually just find whoever's having a sale.
Okay.
And picks a lot of times. I find like I don't have to be too picky because my colors are so crazy anyways, that if colors are a little bit off, it's not like, you know, if I was doing a portrait of somebody and I had to be really mindful of skin tones. So yeah, just find whoever's having a sale.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask if you were like hung up on color, because I got a professional friend of mine who's like, he uses Millers, but lately they've been like goofing up his film. So he sends it to my buddy, Mike Wolforth, who's like a Photoshop guru and he does printing locally. So he sends it to him. And so only because he's picky on his colors, right?
Yeah,
skin tones and stuff like that.
I don't get too hung up on it, but if I was shooting portraits, I'm sure I would get really hung up on it.
Right. Todd, who do you use? Do you use I know you print most of your stuff yourself, right?
You know, because I came up printing my own stuff, I have a really hard time using any kind of photo lab. Yeah. Black and white, I have one guy here in Denver, I think he's still around, Bob Kennedy, Zone 10. And I just had a conversation actually with my friend John Capelli a couple of weeks back. And we were wondering if Bob's even still around. But Bob, you could just give him your film. He hand processes everything. And then he's a master printer. So the only time, and we both had this experience, the only time where we had a print that we actually sent back, and it wasn't his fault, it's just that we didn't communicate properly, you know, what we wanted as far as detail and contrast and that sort of thing. But yeah, Bob Kennedy is the only guy that I would trust to do black and white printing. But even my black and white stuff that I shoot these days, because I have that nice printer, I print everything. And I'm a big stickler when it comes to color because I learned how to print color. Right. So I think it's interesting that you're working with color chemistry, because I know that actually is kind of an art in itself, because it's really, I know that it doesn't keep for very long. Is that correct?
No, it doesn't. Like 2 weeks.
Okay. And it's kind of, I imagine, especially in this day and age, it's a little bit pricey. Is that correct or no?
I get Rolly for about $55, and I can get about 12 rolls from it.
Okay. So not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's just time consuming. So sometimes I'll take my film into Englewood Lab. If it's something like double exposures or my son's film that's just straight film, or Englewood Camera, their lab there.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
know.
they'll do it. And I'd scan it myself. And so I'll just have them just develop it and I'll do the scanning myself. So it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Nice.
What kind of film scanner do you have?
It's a Canon.
Like a true film scanner, not a flatbed scanner.
It's a flatbed. It's a flatbed.
It is a flatbed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the stuff that you're doing, it probably gives it, it's not ultra critical as far as like the sharpness and stuff. So a flatbed scanner probably actually works pretty well for.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And it seems to be fine with, editing software. Anything that's lost in the scan, I can fix with the editing software with Lightroom.
You have this exhibition at Bardo right now, and that goes through the 31st. Is that correct?
Yeah, May 31st.
Okay. And you're going to have a closing for that? Is that the plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
May 31st. My closing from 3 to 6.
And
3
what's
to 6.
involved in the closing?
Not much, just hanging out.
Okay. Are you there for the patrons that come by that night and talk
yeah.
and okay.
Yeah.
But not an official lecture or
That's
anything?
not. No.
Okay.
Going forward, do you have any other exhibitions lined up that you're going to be a part of that people can come check out?
Not at this point. I have some things in the works, but nothing definitive yet.
Okay. And you shared a little tidbit with me the other day about being asked to join a collective. Is that right?
Oh, yes. I was asked to join Heads of Hydra.
Talk a little bit about
the
that.
Art Collective. It's with Richard Alden Peterson, Paul Storm, and Dave Sealer. And they are 3 great artists in the Denver area. And I was asked to join. It was a huge honor. Richard has photographed great musicians for his whole career. He started photographing concerts in California, and he's shot a lot of punk rock artists. So it's amazing to work with him because I'm a huge punk rock fan. So he took my photo not too long ago, and he shot like Debbie Harry and Iggy Pop and Devo, and it's like it was crazy that he took my photo. And then Paul Storm, he's a philosopher and he's also a photographer, and he's doing a talk about Taoism coming up in next weekend. So I'm going to attend that. And then Dave is an art handler, so he's worked with some of the best pieces in the world, and so he helps transport sculptures and beautiful works of art, and he's worked in amazing museums all over.
That's pretty cool. And those guys are all heavy hitters. Like I had the opportunity to meet those guys the other day when I came down to see your show. So it was kind of fun to hang out with that whole group, all of you guys together.
It's a real honor to be asked to be a part of that.
How many people were part of that collective? I mean, is there more beyond that?
It's the 3 of them, and then they asked me to join.
Oh, well, dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was like, a whole like 20 people or something like that. That's great that you're part of it.
You.
I don't know Paul's work. I haven't really had a chance to check it out, but I know Dave.
He does a lot of urban photography, so like a lot of graffiti, really colorful, very vibrant and energetic.
Okay. And so does Hydra have a home?
Hydra does most of their shows at Bardo. That's their home. That's where they show. So
okay.
At the moment, yeah.
I didn't know what the connection was there, if that was just something, that occasionally Richard curates, or how that whole
Richard's
thing
the anti-curator. He calls himself the anti-curator. Yeah. So he lets you just do whatever you want, and artists keep 100%.
Wow.
So you keep everything you sell. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Right on. What are some other things that inspire you with your work?
I like the idea of the damage creating something more unique and hopefully more beautiful. Like I see it as a metaphor for life, because I've been through a lot of trauma, and hopefully like all these crappy things that have happened to me have made me into a more unique person. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do with my photography. Like I damage the film and mess it up, and hopefully it's even better, but better in a unique way. It's beautiful, but then also unique. Whereas before, maybe it would have just been beautiful, but not unique. And that's, I think, what happens to people when they've gone through a lot. like they come out of it not only beautiful as they were before the damage happened, but maybe more unique because they've learned all these amazing things from whatever happened to them. That's kind of what I'm doing with my work. I think that's the meaning behind it.
Okay.
So yeah, anything that's not perfect but has a uniqueness to it, that catches my eye.
That's what makes it beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Especially now, because everything is, like I was saying, everything is beautiful. Even people, like all the manipulation people are doing to themselves, like people are starting to look the same. So anything that's different and a little bit off, I think is very interesting.
So not to be too personal, how did you approach your trauma? Like, did you seek therapy, or was the photography your way of approaching it? Or
Yeah, therapy and a lot of mindfulness. I think mindfulness really helped, like mindfulness therapy, just focusing on that. Photography definitely helped me a lot to get to a better place in my life, knowing that even with all the bad stuff that happened, I could still make something beautiful and put it out into the world, and I still had worth. So I think art is so powerful in that way. And it's so healing in that way.
and if we have a listener that's struggling with trauma, what advice would you give them?
Well, therapy is really important, but so is finding a community. For me, the art community has been life-saving, to find your people, to find people that see your worth. Because like maybe the family you came from doesn't see it, but that doesn't mean you don't have it. It's just finding those people that get you. And even if the people you didn't grow up with or that are around you don't see that there's something important about you, that doesn't mean that's not true. Just keep searching for that community. And I think the art community is really supportive. They're really good people that think outside the box and accept you even if you think outside the box. When the rest of society might think you're completely nuts.
They love you more because you think outside the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Denver Art Society was the first place I showed my work. And it's a pretty cool place. It's this DIY kind of space. It's a nonprofit. And as long as there's an opening, you can show your work there. It's not juried. There's artists of every level there, people with MFAs down to just kids starting out. And that was a great community.
You interact with a lot of photographers. You have this magazine that you started, and you get to see a lot of photography. Outside of that, do you spend a lot of time looking at photography? And if so, who are some of your favorite photographers?
I think everybody spends so much time looking at images now. You just have to make sure you are looking at images that inspire you, I think now, because we're just so inundated. But yeah, I've looked at a lot of photography, starting with, when I started with my classes in 1992. Well, I mean, one photographer who was influential was Joel Peter Wicken. Not that I would want his subjects or his work hanging in my house because it's very disturbing, his subject matter, but I like how he wasn't precious with the negative. He would just mess up his negatives, and that's what I do. So I think, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, look, he can do this with his negatives. And my college professor was very much like that too. He taught us not to be precious with the negative. Just throw stuff on it, put it in the enlarger, and see what it looks like. So that was really freeing. I really like Helmut Newton because I like how the females that he shot were really strong. Like the nudes that he shot, like they were nude, but they were like tough. And I think that was really different from what a lot of photographers were doing at the time with the female form. And of course, like Ansel Adams, just stunning landscapes. Irving Penn was great. He's just so fun. He just had such a sense of whimsy about him. And he did such a wide variety of work. And I really liked what he did with some of his advertising, because he did like commercial work, but it was still very artistic.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very fine art like, right?
It was fine art, but it was also really fun. Like it was just whimsical. Put a smile on my face. Yeah, he's just amazing. Robert Mapplethorpe really sticks out in my mind. He did such beautiful flowers. Everybody knows him for the erotic work that he did, but the flowers, the way that they were lit, were just, and he lit them in a way that they weren't soft, if that makes sense. Like the flowers didn't look super soft. I like the way he lit them. I also think his work, the erotic work, was really interesting because I think that he brought this subculture to light, and it was something that people weren't really aware of at the time. And I think for the time and place and what happened later on in that community, it was important for people to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, those are all photographers that stick out in my mind right now.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
Those are some of my favorite photographers. Irving Penn, definitely at the top of the list. Helmut Newton, for sure. And I like I like your take on it. You made me think a little bit more about like Helmut Newton's work. But even though he's depicting these very sexy women, they're all portrayed very strong. They're strong women.
It's not on the guy's terms. It's on the women's terms, it seems like. Like, it's not like a nude in Playboy where it's more submissive. Like, these women are tough. They look sexy and they will beat you up, like that kind of, I think that's very powerful.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he captured the woman's form almost like he was a woman, like in that sense.
Yeah.
A lot of women writers talk about how Hemingway could write like a woman. Like his women characters are probably even better than his men characters.
Yeah.
He was able to capture that essence of womanhood. And I think, like you said, Helmut was kind of the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't devalue women in any way, even though they were naked.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to talk about, promote, discuss?
Right now, I'm just in between projects. So I'm kind of all over the place right now. I have all these ideas going on. I would love to find something for artists to collaborate and also maybe barter. So that's that's the idea that's stuck in my head right now, because I think the artists and creative people have all these skills, but sometimes we're broke and we don't have a way to like capitalize on those skills. So if there was a way to like do some kind of bartering, like an app where we could like barter things like, hey, I can do headshots, can you do this service for me? Or even people that want to support creative people, like, I don't know, like a mechanic who like needs some headshots done or needs, photos of his, business. Like, I don't have money, like, I can fix your car if you can take photos of my, business, if there's something like that. So that's kind of churning in my head right now, like some kind of just app, and then everything, like there's legal things on it so that the artists don't get ripped off for their services. That's a project that's stewing in my brain right now.
I love that. I love
Thank you.
Anytime that you can barter. I'm a huge fan of the whole bartering
system. Me too. Yeah, just trade some work for some services instead of the money having to be there.
Yeah.
It's not always there for artists. We're all having a hard time right now.
Yeah, it's rough out there. So, it was rough before this whole craziness. And it's probably going to take a while for it to shake out. But
I think so.
You just keep plugging along.
It was interesting because during the pandemic, when we kind of first kicked off this podcast, artists were killing it. Like, people were making money.
Yeah, I was selling a lot because people were fixing up their homes because they were in their homes all day. So they wanted to decorate their homes. And then afterward, people just wanted to get out. So they wanted experiences. So then immersives were making a lot of money.
Right.
Things like Meow Wolf or smaller immersives, they started bringing in a lot of money. And now I think just people just don't want to spend money at all.
Well, I think they're unsure what the future holds. Like, and I'm the same way. Like it makes me nervous, but yeah. So I love the idea of bartering. I suck at bartering, by the way.
I'm learning how.
The best barter I ever did was, I had a gig where I was doing headshots for a CPA firm, and they did my taxes, which they got the better deal.
Oh, nice.
Because I had simple taxes, but Yeah, I got free taxes from a big firm and I did their headshots. So that was great.
I did that for physical therapy. So
Oh,
I got some physical therapy for free for headshots. And
that's
yeah, I'm
awesome.
learning how to do some of that.
There you go. That's amazing. Well, you need to like keep in touch with us because
Oh, definitely.
I want to know what you're doing. I want to because
Thank you.
you're like on that edge of I'm doing something totally cool, and
Oh, thank you.
I want to be a part of it. I want to watch. I want to be on the train with you.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Thank you so
anyway,
much.
weird metaphor, but anyway, that was a weird one. Maybe I want to be in the car with you. That's a better one. I
Okay.
want to because you're driving to some really cool places. I just want to sit in the passenger seat and ride. So there,
Sounds
that's a
good.
better metaphor.
Uh,
Oh my
Tanya,
God.
thank you so much for taking time
Thank
with us
you.
this evening. And
It's been an honor.
I loved the conversation and I loved exploring your work. And we would love to have you on again sometime when you have whatever it is you're working on next. I look forward to seeing you out and about in the very near future.
Thank you.
Remember to follow Tanya on Instagram at Tanya_no filter and check out Tanya's beautiful work at her website, TaniaKaaz.com. As always, I will have all this and more in this week's episode notes. For the Tenant Podcast, I'm Todd Pearson.
And I'm Wes Brown.
Have a great week.
I'm Tania Kaaz, and you're listening to the Tenant Podcast.